Myself, Dr. W.B. Gunale from Kamlanir Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur. Today we are going to discuss the solvation of ion, solvation energy and calculation of solvation energy by using Born-Haber cycle, and after that we are going to see the polarization of ion and Fajan rules. So today's topic is now solvation of ion, polarizability and the Fajan rule. So here we are going to see what is meant by the solvation of ions, and as we know that the interaction that take place when solute is introduced in a solvent, which is known as solvation, and for this case we consider the changes that take place when ionic solid like sodium chloride is added to the polar solvent like water. Then the water is a polar solvent, and it has positive and negative pole. So here, so this is the structure for water. So H having slightly positive charge and oxygen is a negatively charged. So when we add solid NaCl in the solvent, polar solvent like water, then negative end of the water attract the positive part or positive ion, and positive end of this water attract negative ion, and in this way solvation of ion take place. So water is a polar solvent because in its molecule oxygen atom is slightly negatively charged and hydrogen atom is slightly positively charged. When sodium chloride is added in this solvent, then negative end of the water attract positive ion and positive end attract the negative ion of the ionic solid. This attraction forces exerted by water weaken the force existing between the ion in solid ionic crystal. Hence, some of the ion in the crystals are separated from their position in crystal lattice. Once the sodium and chloride ions are separated from the ionic crystal, then two processes can take place. That is solvation of positive and solvation of negative ion. So in the next slide, so when the sodium chloride NaCl is added in a polar solvent water, so then two processes are start, and in one process sodium ion is surrounded by some definite number of water molecule, and in other the chloride ion is also surrounded by some definite but unknown number of water molecule. So this is also known as solvation of sodium ion. This is known as solvation of chloride ion. So when NaCl solid added in the polar solvent water, then the two ions, sodium ion and chloride ion, get separate, and then solvation of sodium ion and solvation of chloride ion can take place. So two processes are start, and process number one, each sodium ion is surrounded by definite but unknown number of water molecules, suppose say X, with their negative end pointing toward it, and this process is represented as shown here. So this sodium and X number of water molecule associated with this sodium, and forming this type of complex type compound NaH2X plus. So this is the sodium ion, and this is also known as solvation of sodium ion. So X number of water molecule associated with the sodium ion, and in this case this process is known as solvation of sodium ion, and the energy change taking place during this process is known as solvation energy of sodium ion. It is represented by the symbol, this energy can be represented by the symbol delta Hs, solvation energy of sodium Na plus. And similarly second process is taking place, each chloride ion is surrounded by definite but unknown number of water molecule, say Y, with the positive end pointing towards it, and it is also represented by the process here, chloride ion surrounded by Y number of water molecules and forming this type of complex type compound, and this is also known as solvation of chloride ion, and this process is also called solvation of chloride ion, and energy change taking place during this process is known as solvation energy of the chloride ion, and this energy can also be represented by delta H S for Cl minus. So these are the two processes take place simultaneously when the sodium chloride or ionic crystal introduced or added in the polar solvent like water. So once the two ions separate, then two processes start taking place simultaneously. So number one, solvation of sodium ion, and so number two, solvation of chloride ion can take place. And now we are going to see now what is the solvation energy. And we can define that solvation energy or the energy change associated with the solvation of ionic solid in the polar solvent like water is known as solvation energy. Ionic solids are only very slightly soluble in most common solvent except those that are quite polar. The strong attractive forces between the ion in the crystal must be overcome, and this can be accomplished only if the attractive forces between ion and the solvent molecules are at least comparable to the lattice energy. The energy which must be provided for the separation of ion for the crystal come from solvation of ion. The attractive forces between ion and the neutral molecule are not very strong unless the molecule has high dipole moment and high polarizability. The greater the dipole moment, the stronger the attraction by ion, and usually greater the solvation energy. Solvation energy also increases with the polarizability of solvent molecule. The forces between ion are dependent on the dielectric constant of the medium. Good solvent for ionic substances usually have high dipole moment and high dielectric constant. Few solvents have dielectric constant as high as that of water. Water is the much better solvent for ionic substances than other solvent with high dielectric constant. So this is solvation energy which is taking place during the process of solvation. And now next part is that calculation of solvation energy by Born-Haber cycle. The energy change during the solvation of sodium and chloride ion can be calculated by the Born-Haber cycle, and it is shown in this slide. In this slide, U is the lattice energy of the crystal sodium chloride. So here this is the thermodynamical cycle. This is the solid NaCl, and from these two ions are separated, sodium and chloride ion. Energy required is UNaCl, that is called lattice energy of sodium chloride. This is the direct process. There are two ways to form the compound here. Now here this ionic solid is separated and forming aquated sodium ion and chloride sodium ion, and this is the energy which is known as solvation energy, because this is the solvated sodium and this is solvated chloride ion. Same process can take place, solvation of sodium and chloride can take place by other way, in this way. So first of all, this solid is converted into gaseous sodium and chloride ion, so energy required is a lattice energy. Then gaseous sodium ion is converted into aquated sodium, and gaseous chloride is converted into aquated chloride ion. So energy change is the solvation energy of sodium. This is solvation energy for chloride ion. So in this way, by using this cycle, this is the Born-Haber cycle for the determination of solvation energy. So we can use here also the Hess law. So reaction can take place in one step, or it can take place in 3 steps. Therefore, L equals to, we can write, if you want to find out the value of solvation energy, L. So L is equals to UNaCl plus delta HSNA plus delta HCl minus. So again we can write here, we can write the equation L equals to UNaCl plus delta HSNA plus delta HCl minus. So by using if the values of solvation of chloride, sodium and NaCl are given, that is energy, then L value, that is solvation energy, can be calculated for that ionic compound. And next is the part solubility of ionic solids. So ionic solids, and there are 3 factors which are affecting the value of ionic solubility. So first part is the ionic charge, and with increasing the cation anion charge, the lattice energy increases much more rapidly than the solvation energy. Therefore, result is that there is a decrease of solubility. So ionic charge affect the solubility. And the second part is the ionic size. Both solvation energy and lattice energy are increased by decrease in cation and anion size. It is therefore difficult to relate solubility to the size of ion. However, two opposing charges are not of the same magnitude, and in general other factor being equal, and therefore solubility increases with the increase in cation and anion size. So solubility depends upon the ionic size. Third factor is also that electronic configuration of cation and their polarizing effect. So in this case, if anion is more readily polarized by cation than the solvent, the lattice energy will increase more than solvation energy, and the solubility will decrease. And if the solvent is more readily polarized by the cation, then the solubility will increase. The ion having pseudo inert gas configuration like Ag plus, Pb2 plus, Hg2 plus have high anion polarizing effect. Hence their salt like AgCl, PbCl2, HgCl2 have lower solubility in the water. As compared to these alkaline earth cations, that is calcium 2 plus, barium 2 plus, having inert gas type configuration have low anion polarizing effect, and hence their halides CaCl2, BaCl2 are readily soluble in water. If the solvent is readily polarized by the cation, then the solubility will increase. So this is the electron configuration and polarizing effect. Also show the whether the solubility less or more, increases or decreases. So these are the three factors which explain the solubility of ionic solid in the solvent. And next part is now polarization of ion. And in this case, as we know that when oppositely charged ions approach each other closely, then the cation tends to attract the electron, outer electron of the anion. At the same time, they repel the positively charged nucleus of the anion. This results in the distortion of anion, in other words, we can say that anion is polarized. This is known as the polarizing effect. As we know, this is the ionic bond between the two ions are there, positive and negative ions A and B, and there is no polarization. They are they are separate, and here there is no polarization. But now when they come close to each other, positive negative ion come close, then this is called polarized anion. As the anions are larger in size, so electron cloud of this attracted toward this positive cation, and therefore this is shown, this is elongate, this electron cloud get elongate, and this is called polarized anion. And generally the polarization of anion take place by cation. Polarization of cation is negligible as compared to this anion. So larger size, generally in positive and negative ion, anions are larger in size and cations are smaller in size. So anion get polarized by cation, and vice versa is negligible or very less. So polarization of cation by anion is negligible. So generally the anion get polarized by cation. So this is the process, and this is known as polarization of ion. And the anion also causes similar effect on the cation. As the size of cation is generally smaller than the anion, polarization of cation by the anion occur to a lesser extent and may be considered as negligible in most of the cases. It means that cation possesses a strong polarization power, and anion is more susceptible to the polarization. That is, anion has more polarizability. The ability of cation to polarize nearby anion, this is known as polarization ability, or also known as polarization power. So here after that we are going to see Fajan rule, and Fajan is the name of scientist, and he has given number of empirical rule, and this empirical rule known as Fajan rules, and these rules explain the polarization of ion. According to this rule, the degree of polarization or distortion of anion by the cation is determined by some factors, and these factors are, three factors are there. First factor is a charge on the cation or anion, and as we know that as the charge on cation is increased, its tendency to polarize the anion becomes greater and greater. Therefore, larger the charge on cation, greater is the force of attraction between the cation and anion, and therefore more polarization. And therefore calcium, for example, calcium 2 plus ion has greater polarization power than sodium ion, and therefore in case of cation, Ca2 plus have greater polarization power than sodium ion. Similarly, the polarizability of anion increases with its charge. The higher the charge on anion, greater is its polarizability. The reason is that with the increase in negative charge, the anion will be able to repel its outer electron more effectively, and therefore fluorides and oxides In this case, the oxide have 2 minus charge, therefore is more polarized than F minus ion, because F minus has only one negative charge and oxide O2 minus has 2 negative charge, and this means that oxide is more covalent than fluoride. So again, both in cation and anion, charges are more, the polarization is more, and they are showing here. So Ca2 plus have greater polarization power than sodium, O2 minus have greater polarization power than F minus. So this is the first rule which is given by Fajan. And now second rule is size of cation and anion. So size of anion and cation also affect the polarization. The polarizing power of cation increases if its size is smaller, while the polarizability of anion increases if the size is larger. Small the cation, greater is the force with which it can attract the outermost electron of the anion, and larger the anion. Lesser is the force with which its nucleus can hold the electron in its outer shell. Hence, smaller the cation and larger the anion, greater is the tendency for the covalency. And therefore, polarizing power of cation, like second A group element, that is beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and radium 2 plus, can be shown here, shown in the Be2 plus is greater than Mg2 plus. So this is the order shown for this element. There is strontium, barium, radium. In case of halide, the fluoride is smaller in size, so then size in the group increases. So this is having less than Cl minus, then Br minus, then I minus. So depending upon the size of cation and size of anion, polarization is different. And third factor is now electronic configuration of cation. Cation with 18 electron in the outermost shell can polarize anion more effectively as compared to the cation with 8 electron in the outermost shell. It is because the d electron of 18 electron system or shell shield the nuclear charge less effectively than s and p electron of the 8 electron shell. Therefore, cation with 18 electron shell has a larger effective nuclear charge than the cation with 8 electron in the outermost shell, even though these two may have same size or same charge. For example, AgCl is more covalent than sodium chloride because in this Ag plus has 18 electron in the outermost shell, while in the sodium ion has 8 electron in the outermost shell. And therefore, and again here the size of Ag plus and Na plus is almost comparable, that is almost the same. There is no size of these two ions or cations are almost same, but whether the outermost shell have 18 electrons or 8 electrons, depending upon that polarization is there. So these are the factors. Three factors are there. First is the charge on cation and anion, second is the size of cation and anion, and last is the electronic configuration of cation. So these are the three important rules given by Fajan and known as Fajan rule. So today we have discussed the solvation of ion and also solvation energy and Born-Haber cycle for the calculation of solvation energy. After that we have seen polarization of ion, and we know that polarization of anion by cation take place, and after that we have seen Fajan rule. Three important rules are there. One is the charge of cation and anion, second size of cation and anion, and last is the electronic configuration of cation, and all these factors affect the polarization ability.